players, it was a milestone for a lot of its younger members. But for Kelly Williams, it was a journey that came full circle. 11 years in the making. Joining us tonight to discuss his experience of returning to the national squad is the man himself, 7-time PBA champion Kelly Williams. Machine Gun Kelly, welcome to the game.
Hi, Kelly.
Paulo, Diego, appreciate you guys having me on.
No, it's an honor to have you here. And first of all, I just want to know how you reacted personally when you actually put on the jersey. What went through your head when you heard the national anthem for the first time, representing the country again? Because I'm sure it must have been an emotional moment for you. Maybe if you didn't show it in person, but what did it mean to you? How did you feel?
Well, what I've been saying the past couple of weeks, Paulo, the pinnacle of my career has always been able to banner the country's flag and have Philippines on my jersey. So, it was probably the most emotional for me when we got up to sing the national anthem. And about midway through, what I like to do, what I've done throughout my whole career was sing along with the anthem. And about midway through, I started getting choked up, looking up at the flag, seeing, especially during the New Zealand game, seeing the fans, all the Pilipinas, Gilas shirts in the crowd. And, it's an honor that it can't really be replicated in the PBA. The amount of pride and the amount of just the weight that comes behind it. As a player, like I said, there's no greater honor. So, yeah, seeing the jersey for the first time, doing the photo shoot, everything, I just tried to stay present in every moment, every practice, every team gathering, because I know that that was potentially my last time being able to do that. Right. And for Chot to give me that opportunity to wear the jersey again, and like you said, it coming full circle with Chot, being that he brought me here in 2005.
Yeah.
For the sake of playing for the national team. That was the primary reason that he brought me here, because he was heading the RP team at the time. So to 17 years later, for us to be put together again in this situation, it's going to be one of my most memorable ones.
All right, for sure. This time around, though, it's a little bit different because, you're coming from a PBA stint actually at the same time. Can you tell us how challenging that was, playing in the PBA, playing a series of games, even training with Gilas at the same time, and then still representing the country?
It was definitely difficult. The last 4 games we had to play, with Talking Text, the last 4 games we had to play within 7 days. And that was put together by the PBA because of the situation. And so Coach Chot told us well ahead of time that, once he was put at the helm of Gilas, that, not only would he have a lot of pressure on him and the players that he was going to take from Talking Text, but Talking Text itself.
Yeah.
Because we would all have to adjust, and I think the guys did an amazing job. The guys being just the team, the coaches and the players, all coming together, understanding our role, understanding our position, and the urgency in the situation. So, coming out of that 2-2, and then going straight into Gilas, and I don't want to say luckily playing only 2 games, because I would have loved to play Korea twice, but and then now having to jump right back into it and practice and play again starting Friday with 3 games ahead. There's a lot. It definitely takes a toll, and I think it takes even more than the physical aspect of it. There has to be a lot of mental toughness as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kelly, I just want to emphasize just how much of a team player Kelly Williams is. Even here on the show, we can see it. How he's sitting on a staircase right now just to make sure that he gets the right signal and that he looks good for everyone. I'm sure that's not very comfortable, so we're going to try to make this worth it, Kelly. But, looking at this team in general, it's such a young group. We saw video of you talking to some of the younger guys there, giving them words of encouragement. We couldn't really hear the audio, But
I wish I could, yeah.
I'm very sure that you've actually talked to them a lot more during this entire process of them being part of Gilas Pilipinas. A lot of them were first time with Coach Chot, a lot of them first time with you. What were the messages that you would constantly hammer into their heads, into and try and create those habits when representing the national team?
Well, one of the things I really tried to emphasize is the amount of pride and how special that moment, how special that situation is in being called up to the national team and represent the Philippines. And just kind of shared my experiences a little bit here and there. But obviously when it came to games, the big part of it is just trying to be available to the guys. But work as a professional should work, and the amount of seriousness and like I said, pride and that comes with wearing the jersey. It's something that shouldn't be taken lightly. Understanding that it's not just ourselves that we need to think about, but also, and not just the team, but thinking about the people, again, our kababayans around the world, and people, especially at a time like this with the pandemic, people going through so much. For us to be in a position and have an opportunity like this is something that we shouldn't overlook, and how special it is. So that's really, I feel like that's what Coach Chot really wanted from me.
Yeah.
As far as my role being with Gilas, and
Kelly,
there's not really much I can put.
Yeah, just to ride on that.
Yeah.
Just to ride on that, actually, I want to ask in particular. Well, Jago wants to ask about two guys there in particular, because this is such a young core here, and I'm sure that you have a lot to think about, a lot to say with regards to this. But just summarize it. Who do you want him to talk about, Jegs?
Well, Kelly, talk about the two bright stars that really performed well in this window, 30 Ravenna and Dwight Ramos. What do you see in them?
30 and Dwight are incredible talents, and we knew that long before. I definitely, watching them play, watching them practice, seeing how they handle themselves, I know for sure the Japanese stint, or their stints in Japan, has definitely helped them to mature as players. Seeing 30, step into his own. Having to have followed in the footsteps of his dad, Bong, and his brother, Kiefer. And now he's really made a name for himself. And it's good to see. I think it's good obviously for his career, but for the Philippines in general, Philippine basketball. And Dwight's the same way.
Yeah.
They are definitely bright spots in what's to come for Philippine basketball. And they really, they were the catalysts in our win in India and our push against New Zealand. So I'm excited for the Philippines, for the Gilas team moving forward. And I told them this after the last game. There's definitely a lot of bright spots. We want to win against New Zealand, and we could have. But the silver lining is the direction they're going in with the group of guys they have and the guys that will come in. There's a lot to look forward to.
Just hearing that, this gives me a lot of hope for the future of Philippine basketball, because there are a lot more younger talents coming in as well to try and fill in the gaps and try to make sure that the program is sustainable. Kelly, before we let you go, I need to ask this. This is a personal question, really. No one's prepared for this question. Back in the day, 30 you would probably be you were the most violent person I know at the rim. Like, you would destroy the rim whenever you could back in the day. My question is, you see 30 Ravenna doing the stuff that he does already. Who was more violent, you at your prime or him right now?
Oh, I gotta go with me. I gotta go with prime Kelly Williams.
I'd answer the same way.
I gotta go with him, man. I don't know if I had a chip on my shoulder. I don't know what I was angry about, but every time I got a chance, I'm trying to rip that thing off the backboard to him. But again, with 30, he's not even close to reaching his peak. He's not even close to reaching his potential, and that's scary. That's scary to see. He's got a bright future ahead.
For sure.
Kelly, we really appreciate you coming over and talking about Gilas Pilipinas and some of the young guys over there. And we hope we have you again soon. Talk more PBA, more ball, and really anything under the sun. Really
Thanks,
appreciate
Kelly.
you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Carlo. Thanks, Diego. You guys take care.
On that note, it's never too early to secure your support for the national squad. A variety of packages for the group phase of the World Cup are available to buy online starting today. Tickets can be purchased at the FIBA Basketball World Cup 2023 tickets website. The packages include a Follow My Team pass for both Philippines and Japan, covering all 5 games of the co-hosts in the group phase. The group phase window will be played in Japan, Indonesia, as well as the Smart Araneta Coliseum and the SM Mall of Asia in the Philippines. The final stage will be played at the Philippine Arena in Manila. After the break, Coach Willie Wilson joins us to give his predictions for the 2022 NBA playoff seeding. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game.
As the excitement grows after the NBA All-Star Weekend, conversations have been piling up regarding this year's postseason. Four-time UAAP champion Coach Willie Wilson joins us tonight to give us his predictions for the playoff seedings. Coach Willie, welcome back to the game.
Thank you. Always a pleasure to be here.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to reiterate how prepared Coach Willie is because this time he has a printed set of
man.
notes.
I'm
yeah.
a Boy Scout. I'm a Boy
He's
Scout.
ready. He's ready. So
Always,
I just
always.
I think we should start off in the East, Jegs,
Yeah,
because
I
the
would agree.
East has had it's basically a log jam
It is.
from positions really 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5.
Even until
Yeah.
the sixth one, yeah.
And
Right,
until the
right.
6th. So it's incredible. You actually have predictions here, and we're gonna bring it up in just a bit so people can see. And you highlighted in particular the Sixers and the Nets as very interesting prospects. So let's start off first with the Nets.
All right. Okay. Obviously, I spoke about this. I talked about how it's a perfect fit having Ben Simmons on that team.
Yeah.
I even talked about how possibly they can get Goran Dragic to fill in that home court PG.
Yeah.
News is that the vaccine mandate in New York will be getting lifted, so I expect Kyrie to be coming back full time. When he is there, we see how dynamic Brooklyn is.
Yeah.
And when he's not there, we see that they aren't really as good. Durant would be back anytime now, and then we see Drummond just being a beast on the boards. So I really look at them fighting their way into the end of the playoffs, and making noise in the playoffs. And we'll get to that after we talk about these 76ers.
I think it's going to be interesting, how Ben Simmons will play out here with the Brooklyn Nets. We haven't seen it, but let's move on to the team that they traded him for. Philadelphia 76ers. This Harden-Embiid tandem has been really, really good for their team. Your thoughts, Coach?
Okay, I was on the fence, I was on the fence about this, but they did everything I said that would make them successful. All right, so Harden is playing off the ball.
Yeah.
He's catching and shooting. And Embiid is actually rolling to the basket.
Yeah, a lot.
Harden, he's the first player in NBA history to go back-to-back games with 25 and 10 assists in his first 2 games on the team. They've combined for about 35 free throw attempts in their first 2 games together. Obviously, it was only playing against the Timberwolves and the Knicks, small sample size. But if they continue doing this moving forward, I think it's going to be a great, end of the season for them and also for Tyrese Maxey.
I look at that group and I see that I'm playing devil's advocate here.
Okay.
Is this just a honeymoon period? Is it just because they're all happy to be with each other and they haven't run into adversity yet? We've seen it in the past, what happens when James Harden isn't necessarily happy. It just happened in Brooklyn. I mean, who's to say that it doesn't go south soon if things don't go the right way moving down the road?
Well, obviously only time will tell. But if I'm James Harden and I'm getting all of these open shots, I have a big man that I can pass to, and it doesn't have to be a lob pass. It can be a pocket pass, give it to him in the lane. I can take some plays off. I don't even really need to expend that much energy defensively. I mean, that would make me happy, And I'm still out there getting triple doubles, scoring 30 points. I just see it. If this is how they're going to play the rest of the season, I see it working.
All right.
I also think because they're winning, so everyone's gonna be happy when
winning
they're winning.
solves everything.
Yep, they haven't lost.
Winning solves everything.
Should we go to the Western
Yeah, I
Conference?
think we should
now?
go to the West.
Do we have to?
Yeah, no, we do because I not to rub salt in the wound, but I'm looking at the list that you got here already.
Should I just throw the papers
No,
away?
you don't have to throw the papers. No. This is an environmentally friendly show. So number 10 on your list. Again, this is your predicted seedings. You have the Lakers at number 10, and there's still a ways to go before we finalize all the standings.
Talk about winning too.
Yeah, what's up? What's going on?
All right, it hurt me. It hurt me bad to put the Lakers at number 10, but it could have been worse. All right, so there is a silver lining. They could have missed, even the play-in tournament. If they're seeded at number 10, they're in the play-in tournament. They got to win 2 games to get in to at least get to the 8th spot.
Yeah.
All right, which would put them up against the Phoenix Suns. So here goes the silver lining. Chris Paul out.
Okay.
Out for the first round. Out for
going.
the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Do my Lakers have a chance to beat a Chris Paul-less Phoenix Suns team in the first round of the playoffs? Let me know.
Yeah, well, I honestly don't know because we all know that even without Chris Paul, Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, all those guys are incredible. And let's say you miss out on playing the Suns and you play the Warriors and Draymond Green is healthy.
No, that's
going to be tough.
That's not going to happen because we're not getting past the 8th seed, and the Warriors aren't getting to the 1st seed.
All right, so I'm going to have Jego react to this right now because we have a note here on our script saying that you actually have a surprise matchups for us and play-in tournament predictions here. So we'll have Jego react to that.
I want to hear this.
Yeah,
Coach.
so you go lay down on us.
All right, so I have, again, the Lakers in the play-in tournament at the 10 seed.
Okay.
They would be playing against the Pelicans.
Yeah.
Okay, so they win that game.
Okay.
But you guys lost to them by like 30.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
All right, Coach. Move on, Coach.
Stop, bro. I have the Timberwolves against the Clippers, and the Timberwolves beating the Clippers.
Oh, okay.
Which would set
That's
up a
interesting.
matchup between the Lakers and the Clippers, and the Clippers never beat my Lakers. Okay, they just don't.
Okay.
So my Lakers sneak in, and they play against the Suns in the first round.
All right.
Without Chris Paul. And
They're gonna
they
advance.
win
Beat
that.
the-
They
Oh
win
my-
that series.
This isn't a prediction.
they
This
win
is
that-
fantasy.
No, they
This
win
is science fiction. No.
They win that series. All right.
All right.
They win that series.
All right. Anything on the East?
Okay. Now, the matchup that we all want to see. All right, I have the Nets
All right.
Okay.
ending up seeing the Sixers in the first round.
Oh, okay.
How does that happen? Obviously, I have the Nets
Beating
finishing-
Toronto.
Yeah, at number 8.
Yep.
You know, at the 8 seed. So they played the Raptors in the play-in tournament. They end up at the 7 seed, playing the 76ers on the 2nd seed. And now this is where it gets a little tricky.
Yeah.
This is where you talked about, is Harden still going to be happy by the time he gets to the playoffs? And are the Nets going to be 100%, together,
healthy,
gelled, healthy? Ben Simmons out there locking up on D, Patty Mills and Seth Curry hitting threes.
That is a series we all want to see.
That is a series. And I see the Nets winning that.
That's probably going to be the most watched series in the playoffs.
I agree. At least on paper, that sounds amazing.
If
but
it happens, Coach, props to you. Coach.
props to you. You're a prophet. But then, based on your Lakers prediction, I don't know. But Coach,
Come on, man. Come on. Give me some. Give me some.
Thank you very much for coming on the show
Yeah,
again.
for
We
sure.
love those takes. We our head writer loves it right now. I'm sure he's giving you a high five already virtually, and we really appreciate you coming over.
Thank you,
Always
Coach.
a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Thank you.
We'll go inside the game of volleyball Thai League import Dindin Santiago-Manabat. Stay tuned. You're watching the game. You're watching the game. I'm Diego Dario. After winning their match over the weekend, Dindin Santiago-Manabat and the Nakhon Ratchasima Volleyball Club will be facing Diamond Food in the semis of the VTL. Before the hard-hitting action continues, our correspondent Ai Tensai caught up with the Penay import in this edition of Inside the Game.
Joining us tonight on Inside the Game is no other than Dindin Santiago-Manabat, who's currently playing for the Volleyball Thailand League. Alam mo, Din, balikan lang natin, paano ka kinontak ng Nakhon Ratchasima? Ano yung naging reaction mo at anong nag-convince sa'yo to say yes?
Dahil nauna na si Mike, kinontak na yung manager namin, si Kuya Jambo, yung manager namin sa Cherry. And December pa lang, kinokontak na nila ako. And sobrang tumitimbang talaga ako kung go or hindi. By January, first week ng January, talagang pinag-iisipan ko. Kasi syempre, yung bubble kasi sa Pilipinas is parang andali lang. Kasi nasa Pilipinas. And ngayon kasi, parang, mahirap kasi nasa Thailand ka. Hindi mo siya, may video call. Yung anak ko kasi, hindi siya ganun ka-agree na umalis ako. So, sa bubble pa lang, lagi na kami namang problema sa kanya na ayaw niya. Pero syempre ako, ito na yung work ko, pinapakawasapan ko siya and napapakawasapan naman siya. Then nung December, siya yung tinanong ko, Mami, need to play Thailand, ganyan, papayag ka ba? Sabi niya, no. So, nung December, inaccept ko yung ano niya. And syempre, sinuyo ako ng Nakhon. So, tumimbang naman ako. Kinausap ko naman yung mga teammates ko. And syempre, si PVL nga, na alam ko na parang mag-aano na siya, magliliga na. So, yun yung fino-focus ko. Kasi syempre, mas gusto ko maglaro sa mother team ko, sa Cherry nga. So, dahil supportado naman ako ni Cherry na maglaro abroad, napayes na ako. Kasi syempre nga parang sabi nila na we will support you 100% pag nasa Thailand ka na. And syempre yung pinaka-training mo doon is parang, syempre parang din makatulong din nga na yung exposure namin ni Mai. Parang ang gusto kasi ni Cherry is makatulong din kami sa nangangailangan ng ibang team. So ito ngayon Nakhon, nandito na kami. And yung sa team naman namin, aabot naman kami sa PBL. So parang mas matuto pa ako, mas more on makakuha pa ako ng exposure kung ano man yung matutulong ko sa team. So pinayagan nila ako na makapunta dito sa Nakhon. So hindi para mas habang bata pa, magawa ko na rin makapag-abroad ulit kasi parang ang tagal ko na rin na yung last laro ko sa Japan.
How did you stay motivated? Kahit sunod-sunod yung mga liga mo, talagang onti lang yung pahinga, pero you kept motivated, you stayed inspired. Ano yung sikreto mo dito?
Siyempre yung pamilya ko, ang sikreto ko talaga. Kasi siyempre, nanonood sila. Gusto ko palagi na parang nakikita nila na maganda yung performance ko dito. Hindi pwedeng lungkot eh. Siyempre kailangan gumawa ka ng paraan para mas ma-inspired ka, and siyempre nilook forward ka ng anak mo eh. So kailangan talaga kailangan maging strong pa ako kasi siyempre kung ano yung napapanood niya na kunyari, yan yung nanay ko. In the near future kasi gusto ko maging proud siya sa akin. And yun nga, sa teammates ko dito, hindi sila mahirap pakisamahan, matured. Ang natutunan ko dito is yung parang mas maging mature. And hindi ka pwede dito na wala ka na sa comfort zone mo eh. Kumbaga, sa Pilipinas, kung ano, parang hindi naman, yung parang minsan, ito yung gusto ko. So, parang dito, kailangan ikaw ang mag-adjust. Na kahit parang, ang sa akin kasi, ang talagang lagi kong nilalagay sa sarili ko, kahit sinong setter or kahit sinong mga player ang nandyan sa akin, kailangan makapag-perform ako ng maganda. Kailangan everyday 100% na tinitraining ko. Walang masakit, walang hanggat kaya talaga. And syempre, ngayon, kung sa Pilipinas, umaarte ako minsan sa set. Mataas, mababa, ganyan. Dito kasi parang ang mindset ko na kahit anong iset mo sa akin, hindi ko rereklamo. Hindi ako magrereklamo. Kailangan maka-adjust ako. Kailangan ako yung mag-adjust. Hindi na yung pag minsan parang sinasabi nila mali mo. Kunyari, like setter. Bumato siya sa akin. Tapos hindi ko napalo. Ako yung nagsusorry. Kasi ang gusto ko talaga mangyari, ako yung maka-adjust.
Ano sa tingin mo yung mga ibabahagi mo sa kanilang learnings pagbalik mo sa Pinas?
Siguro lahat naman, yun nga, mga bata. Siguro yung maturity. And syempre yung exposure ko dito, kailangan kung ano yung mga experience ko dito, madala ko sa Cherry. And syempre, kung dito nga, sabi ko nga yung halos walang pagkakaiba, pamilya dito, pamilya doon, syempre yung tulungan lang. Hindi naman kasi parang syempre tinatawag nga kami na volleyball team. Hindi iisa ang naglalaro eh. 6.
Tama.
So, kung pamilya tayo, kung love mo ang isa, kung ano yung hirap ng isa, paghihirapan mo rin.
Thank you, Dindin. We look forward to more Filipino pride from you, and we are so excited to have you back. Thank you for joining us. I'm Ai Tinsay for The Game.
And that's it for tonight. Thank you for joining us. I'm Diego Dorio.
I'm Paulo De Rosario. This has been The Game.